your ex-husband, Matthew, was able to instill within the girls at a very early age how to protect their money.
Yeah.
And I think that, first of all, I think you were very fair to your ex in this book. Because I know there's lots of things you could have said that did not get said in this book. There was a never-ending cycle of him cheating.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from the first sentence that you write about that, shortly after you all got married, I think the sentence was something like, he had a problem with fidelity.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Roshni, you have a question about that?
I do. I was married 6 years, divorced for 8, recently remarried. And though there was infidelity in my marriage, the things that existed before I got married with my husband was very much present in my marriage. I just didn't see it. So the question is really, when you had the early signs from Matthew, what made you want to commit or move ahead anyways? But then what kept you there?
First of all, I hope that I made it very clear in the book that my whole life with Matthew was not filled with heartache, yes. That there were some amazing moments also.
Yeah.
I also had just lost my mom at 26. He knew my mom. I knew his mom. And what he was so kind to my family. My family is everything to me. So imagine you losing your mom at 26. Your brothers and sisters are older. They got their own families, and you feel so alone. And like, that's my best friend, you know? And in a lot of ways, he had an issue, but he was so kind to me. And it sounds crazy because that's not kind to cheat on somebody. I think he had an illness, but we were a team. And, we had kids and we built a life together. We built businesses together. We connected on so many levels. So I don't know. When I look at it now, I can't believe I stayed there for that long. Self-esteem issues, obviously. Those nuns telling me I wasn't good enough. So I was like, I'm lucky to have somebody that's successful and smart.
Did you ever
better than me?
Did you ever?
In
wow.
some ways, you think that.
Yeah. Did you ever? I was going to say, did you think was because you weren't doing enough, that you weren't enough for him? Did you think that?
Oh yeah, at times. Yeah. I think you do go through that when somebody cheats on you, and it also keeps you in a cycle of. It's kind of like somebody slapping you in the face and then you don't get to recover and then you get another slap in the face. You can't really get your strength up, And there were times when I did get my strength up. But then I would have these kids and I say, I'm going to be by myself for the rest of my life because I'm not going to bring some man around my kids. That was always that fear of protection. And I swear, every time somebody would start messing with me, and he was my protector. He was always a protector. He's still my protector. If something went wrong, I would want him on my team.
How would you describe how is your relationship today? Because you all are grandparents together.
We're fine. I say in the book that I still love him as a brother. Even though the things he did, I knew that they were out of a illness, they weren't intentional. And that sounds crazy. I know I still sound codependent, but I just know that he would take a bullet for me. And if somebody messed with me, he was right there all the time. He was the person who always told me you could do anything. You could do anything you put your mind to. You can have whatever you want to have. I mean, he believed in me when nobody else did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you married again when you were 61, I think, right?
Yeah.
To actor Richard Lawson, and divorced after almost 10 years. And our friend Tyler Perry, in the book you talk about, told you something. What was that? He told you about that?
He just told me that I told him what happened, and he loves Richard also. And he was like, I'm very sad to hear that. And I said, but, this marriage is not bringing out the best in me. And I have finally found my worth, and I know that I deserve to be happy. I know I deserve for somebody to be happy when they see me and to celebrate me, and it's not doing it for me. It's bringing out the worst in me, and it's got to stop. And he said, he was teary-eyed, and he was like, I am so proud of you coming from a family where women stayed no matter what. And it's taken a lot of courage. I said, I'm doing this for my daughters, too. So I want to set that example for them. And he said, you're not only doing it for your daughters, but you're doing it for your grandson. Because you think that you're doing something to stay in a marriage that's unhappy, that you're not celebrated or you feel fulfilled. you are affecting your grandson too, because he wants you to be happy, and how he's going to treat the woman that comes along. And I never thought about that. But he was just so supportive of me.
Well, you write something that really, I think, helps us to see the kind of woman and matriarch you've been all these years. You say, mothering someone is such an important job. You naturally put yourself on the back burner, wanting to do so well that you end up losing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You say, I was no doormat, but I was damn sure hard-headed about taking care of everybody except me, and yes, getting the praise for it.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the turning point that you realized enough, that moment where you say to the girls, look, I'm going to start taking care of myself?
Well, that was after my divorce. And I was really nervous about it because I had been so engrossed in taking care of them and making sure that they were okay, and not feeling worthy of, just loving myself and taking care of myself, or taking a day off. If I was in the middle of something that I really wanted to do and my girls called me, I would drop whatever, whomever, and be right there. And so I felt like I had to have that talk with them to warn them. And I was scared of how they would react because, you guys know, mothers are kind of taking, my kids are wonderful. They acknowledge me. They love me. They would do anything for me. But it's a kid's nature to be a little self-centered. But I told them, and surprisingly, they said, Mom, we're so happy to hear that, because, they were excited for me. They weren't pissed off about it. They were actually excited that I was going to have my own life.